ladies and gentlemen. Okay, thank you very much. It's an interesting evening that you're in for. We are a large number of the choir who are poorly, and so we're only about 2/3 strength, really. Well, the fact that one line is missing. So we will endeavour to do our best. A small amount of it, because there isn't so much of us, we're going to appeal for your help. Hence the copy of the carol book in front of you. Please do not take it away with you, because the church doesn't know that I've borrowed it. Don't forget to smile, it's supposed to be enjoying this. Okay. Also, manage that compliment is great. Hold your copy up. Hold your copy up. Ding dong merrily on high, the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky, with angels singing. Glory, glory, Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Glory, 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 Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Sing so hickle-o-be-lo, bells be swungen, and the yo-yo-yo-yo-yo-yo-yo, white people sungen. Glory, 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 Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Glory, 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 Hosanna in excelsis. Pray you dutifully, bright Johnny ringers. May you dutifully bright Johnny singers. Glory, 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 Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Well, who needs the other 15? Okay. As you probably realised, this is us at home for you to come and see what we get up to on a Tuesday evening. And for those who are suspicious of their men folk, it is bona fide. And we've been fortunate enough to be here in Worthing College since the middle of August. And it's a pretty good venue, really, and we do enjoy taking part here. And possibly, as time goes on, we'll work a little more with the college as well, the college's Performing Arts Department. There's a star in the east, so rise up, shepherd, and follow. That's your cue.
Rise up, shepherd, and follow.
probably noticed we've got a new fangled music stand here. And the choir's own music stand is in the boot of somebody's car, somebody who's not well. And it has been there since last week and they've forgotten about it. So, a setting of the traditional carol "See Amid the Winter Snow," made by Alan Simmons, a prodigious arranger of music for male voice choirs and just about any other choir as well. Some of them are very good, some of them are interesting. And Alan himself, having spent a lifetime turning out about 3 arrangements a week, has now gracefully retired, given his publishing company to his 2 children. He now lives in the south of France and rakes money in. Nice work if you can get it. Actually, he's a good bloke. He's a wonderful Yorkshireman, and some of his work is really very, very good. Wouldn't be very poorly off in repertoire if it weren't for Alan Simmons. "See Amid the Winter Snow."
See amid the winter snow, all for us on earth below. See the tender Lamb of His, promised from eternal years. Hail thou ever blessed morn, hail redemption's happy dawn. Sing through all Jerusalem, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Say, ye holy shepherds, say, what your joyful news today? Wherefore have ye left your sheep on the lonely mountain steep? Hail thou ever blessed morn, hail redemption's happy dawn. Sing through all Jerusalem, Christ is born in Bethlehem. As we watch at dead of night, lo, we saw a wondrous sight. Angels singing peace on earth, told us of the Saviour's birth. Hail thou ever blessed morn, hail redemption's happy dawn. Sing through all Jerusalem, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Sacred infant, oh divine, what a tender love
Christmas is a poem written by Gruffs, who incidentally was a Finnish baritone. It reminds us the spirit of Christmas cannot be bought. Joy to the world, the carolers sang out, as last-minute shoppers scurried about, desperately seeking that one special gift that would give Christmas morning a magical lift. An old man is standing still, listening to the song, amidst all the madness of the bustling throng. In a shaky, hoarse voice, began to join in, singing the words of that famous old hymn. One by one, people stopped with their madness to join with the old man in a moment of gladness. By the time the carolers finished singing their song, the whole throng was united as they all sang along. And as if by magic, from out of the sky, church bells rang out from a chapel nearby. When the song finally ended, the people greeted one another with messages of goodwill they shared with each other. You see, that magical gift the shoppers sought for so long was not in the shopping or scurrying along. That magic gift, so desperately sought, was the spirit of Christmas, which could never be bought.
However, from the United States, home of all sorts of high-quality slush, he's a bit it's lovely because basically the tenors over on my right get one tune, the baritones and basses over on my left get a totally different tune, and providing all turns out well, they both fit together, and that's the three verses. Christmas is here, chaps.
Come join the fun, 'cause Christmas is here, magic is everywhere. Sleigh bells ring and children sing, laughter fills the air. Come share the joy, 'cause Christmas is here, help make the spirit grow. Smile and greet the folks you meet, everywhere you go. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, join a happy song. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa-la-la, fa-la-la, won't you sing along? Come make a wish, 'cause Christmas is here, let's make it all come true. Help the things that Christmas brings to last the whole year through. Christmas time is here, just feel it in the air. Feel the happiness it brings, just for us to share. Now the Christmas time is here, let everybody know. Put some coloured lights upon the tree, hang the mistletoe. String all the popcorn, wrap all the toys, why does it take so long? Share all the magic, share all the joys, come and join a happy song. For Christmas time is here, let's make a wish come true. Help to make the joy that Christmas brings last the whole year through. Sleigh bells blow and happy does it sing, laughter
arrangements of Silent Night, or Still Night, Silent Night, and of the many, many thousands of verses, no, there were 9, I think, originally written for this. Because you know the story, do you? Yeah, some of you don't, right. Basically, in a small town in Germany, Christmas in the got, they discovered too late, I mean, our last minute problems were nothing compared with theirs, because they discovered on Christmas Eve, early in the morning, that the church mouse had been entertaining some members of his wider family, and they'd had eaten through a lot of the leathers on the organ. What are we going to do? The instrument wasn't working. And so, Franz Gruber wrote the words and the tune. And basically, because the organ wasn't playing its usual sounds, it was a silent no. Really. You do not have to imitate an alien organ. Lurking in this booklet, you'll find number 15. Those of you who are struggling, it comes just down 14, just before 16, which is on the next page. Now, again, it was originally written as a conversation between a king, that nobody knows very much about, and his servant. And the events take place on Boxing Day, and it's snow everywhere. Now, in the English translation, it's known as the Domino's Pizza Carol. Have a look at the fourth line. There you go. You see deep pan, crisp, and even. Oh, thank you, Bob. Now, the first verse is for everybody. You gentlemen, I'd like you please to be responsible, upright, adult members of the community. You're going to be a king, so you will beckon your servant. Halfway through that verse, The servant chimes up with, "Sire, he lives a goodly Kensington." That's you. All right, you've got the supporting roles. Without you, he wouldn't have had anything. And then the second half of the third verse is a bit of narrative, so we all sing that together. And then you get a bit frightened. Well, you're stuck on the side of this fountain. It's blowing a hoolie. You've got snow up to your neck, ish, and you get a bit worried. And old Big Feet here, he knows. The king, just you come with me, son. And then we all sing the last verse. Okay? So here we go. Jenny, crank it up and we're away. All together and...
Good King Wenceslas last looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. Hear the page and stand by me, if thou know'st its telling. Yonder peasant, who is he? Where and what is dwelling? Son, he lives a goodly place, underneath the mountain, right against the forest place, voice the darkness fountain. Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither, thou and I will see him die, when we bear them thither. Age and modern, forth they went together, through the rude winds of lament, and the bitter weather. Silent night is longer now, and the wind blows stronger. Fails my heart, I know not how, I can go no longer. My footsteps, good my page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage, freeze thy blood rest coldly.
Together.
In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. It was in the very sod which the saint had printed. Therefore Christians all be sure, wealth or rank possessing, ye who now will bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessings.
Well done.
I cannot tell you who wrote this poem, but it was written by a peacekeeping soldier stationed overseas. It was a night before Christmas. He lived all alone in a one-bedroom house made of plaster and stone. I had come down the chimney with presents to give and to see just who in his home did live. I looked all about. Strange sight I did see. No tinsel, no presents, not even a tree. No stocking by the mantel, just boots filled with sand. On the wall hung pictures of far distant lands. A sober thought came through my mind. For this house was different. It was dark and dreary. I found the home of a soldier. Once I could see clearly. The soldier lay sleeping, silent, alone, curled up on the floor in this one-bedroom home. His face was so gentle, the room in such disorder, not how I pictured a lone British soldier. Was this the hero of whom I had just read, curled up on a poncho, the floor for a bed? I realized the families that I'd seen this night owed their lives to these soldiers who were willing to fight. Soon around the world, the children would play, and grown-ups would celebrate a bright Christmas day. They all enjoy freedom each month of the year because of the soldiers, like the one lying here. I couldn't help wonder how many more were alone on a cold Christmas Eve in a land far from home. The very thought brought a tear to my eye. I dropped to my knees and started to cry. The soldier awakened and I heard a rough voice. Santa, don't cry. This life is my choice. I fight for freedom. I don't ask for more. My life is my God, my country, my core. The soldier rolled over and drifted to sleep. I couldn't control it. I continued to weep. I kept watch for hours, so silent and still, and we both sat and shivered from the cold night's chill. I didn't want to leave in that cold dark night, this guardian of honor, so willing to fight. Then the soldier rolled over with a voice soft and pure, whispered, "Carry on, Santa. It's Christmas Day. All is secure." One look at my watch and I knew he was right. Merry Christmas, my friend, and to all, a good night.
And so, I've dragged my good lady wife along. No, I didn't drag you along, no, just hang on. And Teresa's going to sing a song some years ago now by Carl Davis for Purity Camera. She couldn't come and bring my wife tonight, besides Tuesday's no time now. And it's quite simply called The Most Wonderful Birthday of All. Ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Wilkie.
The most wonderful birthday of all is a birthday we'll always remember, when a baby was born, that beautiful morn, far away on a day in December. Ring out the bells.
I'm sorry, this is my fault entirely. Let's start again. I should throw no, yes please, Jenny, that'd be wrong as well. Right. I'm rid of that page in the wrong place. You've rubbed the pencil marks off, you know, girl. All the right notes.
The most wonderful birthday of all is a birthday we'll always remember, when a baby was born, that beautiful morn, far away on a day
And now, chaps. Mrs. Dublin? I know you're not a chap, but... piece of music, one of the many carols written by John Rutter, and in a way that it's probably never been performed before. May not be performed like this again. Gentlemen, on your feet, please. Okay. Are we doing it in a duet, or are you doing it yourself? I can have a sing as well. No end to this woman's generosity. You ask the questions, I'll do the response. Right? Okay. There is a tradition been going for years and years now, lots of the Oxford and Cambridge colleges, that they celebrate Christmas by having an enormous roasted boar's head, B-O-A-R, not the person who sent you to sleep, but the giant pig job. And that's brought in. Now, we were going to do this, but... so we're just going to sing it instead.
The boar's head in hand there I, be decked with babes and rosemary, and I pray you, my masters, be merry. Codestis in convivio, carpet brigade. us be decked with a gay garland. Let us serve the antico. Caput apri de ferro, redens laudes Domino. Caput apri de ferro, redens laudes Domino. Our steward hath provided this in honor of the King of bliss, which on this day to be served is in retinentia trio. Caput apri de ferro, redens laudes Domino. Caput apri de ferro, redens laudes Domino.
Now, the man who was going to be the boar's head, which had been severed from its body, is Mike. We realised that we couldn't have actually done it then because we needed to read now.
It is a Sussex Christmas. The Copper family have lived in Rottingdean since Tudor times. Bob Copper, the famous historian and singer, recalls a typical Sussex Christmas when he was a lad in the early 1900s. It was Christmas. The puddings had been boiled in the copper in the corner of the scullery for some weeks in Grandad's tiny cottage, where the whole family met at Christmas time. Grandad, being foreman on the farm and a man of substance in the village, kept a good table all through the year. At Christmas time, it creaked beneath the weight of extra drink and food. There was always a huge turkey of about 25 pounds or more, and the farmer every year gave him a 16-pound round of local beef as a season's gift. These two items alone were far too large for the cottage oven, so us boys had to take them down to Allworks, the bakers, who always lit the ovens especially for the Christmas morning roasting. Dad had made a wooden carrier like a stretcher about 6 foot long with 2 handles at each end to carry the bird and the joint, which were thickly daubed with dripping and covered with corn sacks to keep the heat in on the way back. By about midday, that small cottage was fairly bulging with people. There were aunts and uncles, cousins and second cousins, aunts, brothers and uncles' sisters. Long trails of star-leaf deep ivy festooned the dresser, and sprigs of holly sprouted from behind the pictures on the wall. About 1 o'clock, we went down to the bakehouse to see if the bird was ready. It'll be about another 15 minutes, said the baker. So, as the black horse was next door, we slipped in there out in the cold. We had some cider, actually quite a lot of cider. And when we picked up the turkey, we staggered a little. Why don't we take the shortcut across the pond, I said. Halfway across, there was a crack. Then another. I felt my feet sinking, and suddenly I was up to my waist. Then I saw the turkey and the beef sliding towards me. I raised my arms and it slid back to my brother, who was trying to balance the stretcher, and suddenly he sunk down to his waist. We wobbled across the pond and managed to save the meat and our skins. When we got home, nobody noticed the state we were in. They just looked at the lovely turkey and beef. Eventually, we all sat down at the laden table, and Grandad said grace. For what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. After dinner, tea was laid with sandwiches and a huge ice cake and homemade mince pies. But we couldn't raise the slightest enthusiasm for it. We just weren't hungry. So after tea, Grandad, seated in his armchair on one side of the fire, would nod gravely to Uncle Tom on the other side, and with no more ado would launch into the first carol, then hymns, Christmas music and old songs. Everyone would join in, and the little cottage fairly shook with the sound. Passers-by would stop and listen. At 11 o'clock we would stop for supper. The first thing to be put on the table was a £12 ham, which was an annual present from the farmer's wife to Granny. Then the round of beef, and the favourite of all, a great cold-boned rabbit pie set in thick jelly with a flank of bacon and hard-boiled eggs. As Grandad carved out the ham, we would all sing one of our traditional songs, expressing the pleasure and gratitude for us all being together on Christmas night.
Well, another bit of Old England is a carol which it's a bit of a mystery in some ways. I saw 3 ships come sailing in, and they went to Bethlehem. Now, those of you who know the area will realise that Bethlehem is about 60 miles from the sea and about 800 foot above sea level. It presents a small problem. Now, this actually presents the choir with a bit of a problem. Excuse me, I need a fortification. Because you're getting your money's worth with this one. It's not just one tune which is sung by the second tenors. Can you give us the first note of whatever key it's in? Okay, second tenors, 1, just sing our selfish. 1, 2.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
Fantastic, a round of applause, please. But the first tenors have a different tune.
Our Saviour Christ,
1, 2.
our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day in the morning.
Round of applause for the first tenor, please. Meanwhile, the venerable basses over here have a different tune again. Still in tune. Must be a lucky night. Okay. Oh, they 1, 2.
Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning.
Wonderful. It's worth being thank you. And the baritones, often the forgotten ones, left till last. You get whatever notes are left.
And all the angels,
1, 2.
and all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning.
Hey, you don't need the other 7 Well done. The crunch comes at the end, when all 4 tunes come together. Or not, as the case may be. Gentlemen, upon your feet, please.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day in the morning? Our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Saviour Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day in the morning. Pray with the sail of ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Pray with the sail of ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice, amen, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Then let us all rejoice, amen, on Christmas Day in the morning.
so good, you can have a rest. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. And. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing terribly. Sack me if you will, but wait till I've handed me expenses in. What were you expecting next?
I was expecting...
Oh, well, we'll arrest before I
Oh, okay.
get strength back for that. Another song from Teresa now. It's a very telling song, modern song, simply called Only a Dream.
Only a dream, it was only a dream, the promise of peace has been broken again. Only a line, it was only a line, they said peace in a time, but it was only a line. And we all sang the songs, and we all waved the sign. We said, give peace a chance, but it was only a line. Only a word, peace is only a word. It's a word often heard, but it's only a word. And we talk through the night, and we fight through the day, and we both think we're right, and the children will pray. So we still hear the screams, and we still watch them die. We have spent all our dreams. A white dove won't fly. Only a child, he was only a child, but they said when he came, he was hope for the world, hope for the world, sight for the blind, bread for the hungry, and peace for the time. So I gave him my hand. I said, will you be soft? He said, please understand. And went straight to my heart. Only a dream, but this much I know, that your dreams can come true if you know where to go.
Now,
shall we split it choir and audience, or shall we go in half that way, chaps?
You choose.
I choose. Right, we're going half this way. This side are the elegant, wonderful team. And you are even. So you will sing verse, I haven't told you what it is, you've got to guess it. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, and 12. This side, you are odd. And you will sing 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. The song is the 12 Days of Christmas. And it's not in there just as well because you need your hand free. Actually, I suggest we do all the first ones together because it comes up every time. Just give me a chord, you can play it. And a partridge in a pear tree. And you need to do that. So, are you ready? And a partridge in a pear tree. Right, now, Marshall's landed now, they wonder what else is going on. Okay. And then, well, we'll see how it goes after that. Okay. When you get to your verse, I won't ask the audience to do this because they will sue me otherwise. But I want you to stand up and do it as well. Okay. Are we ready for this?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Give us an intro. All together on the first.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love said to me, a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the third
Day of Christmas, my true love said to me,
3 French hens.
3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the fourth
Day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
5 gold rings. On the fifth
Day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 5 gold rings.
Put both hands up.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the sixth
Day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 6 weeks a laying, 5 gold rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 gold rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
Hang on. Hey, thank you.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 8 maids are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 gold rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
9 ladies to dance.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are
Christmas. Pardon? All right. Do it the refined way. See, I looked at you and said, yes, do it the refined way. Right, piper's piping. Let's move it up beat as we go. Can we? 1, 2, 3.
On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 pigs are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 is a leg, 5 gold rings, 4 holly bells, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
So this will be the 11th. Take it down. Testing.
Day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 bulls are leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 pigs are milking, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 gold rings, 4 holly bells, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Now, we're coming towards the end of the series. And here's a little potpourri of Christmas songs. If you've been to any of the concerts that we've done the last 2 or 3 years, you might have recognised this from about 2 years ago. But it's a bit of rocking around the Christmas tree. And are you hanging out the stocking on the wall? Here it is, Merry Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Jenny. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, but it's got your name written above the word Christmas. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hall. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Are you hanging up your stocking on the wall? It's the time that every Santa has a ball. Does he ride a red-nosed reindeer? Does he turn up on his sleigh? Do the fairies keep him sober for a day? So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun. So here it is, Merry
leading to a pause and closing them, and we attack them mince pies and whatever else. We hope you all have a fantastic time, because we wish you a Merry Christmas. And you can wish us that as well. We wish about that. I'll go with that. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your King. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Gruffs for about half. Thank you for coming. Paul wishes to make an announcement.
Yes, before you go and have your mince pies and mulled wine, I just wanted to thank you. So I'm going to ask Michael Kent, the Gruffs chairman, to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much. Cool. Well, first of all, a big thank you to you all for coming. I'm sure a lot of you are suffering a bit like I am. I haven't got any excuses other than it's a standard cold that everyone else is getting. But there are some important thank yous we have to say tonight. It's the end of our year, effectively. The last concert, we had a very good year. So the first person that we must thank is Howard. He has
Christmas crackers and
every week he comes over from the Isle of Wight to take our rehearsal. He's going to have an interesting journey back. Playing without seeing. But he's improved the choir so much, and we really are so grateful for what he's done for us, and long may it continue. Second person that we must thank is Jenny, who people have already not have a brilliant musician to lead us on and play, improvise when we go wrong and something. It's absolutely brilliant. Now tonight we've got to thank Teresa very much for coming over from the Isle of Wight with Howard. I'm sure
need to get a tree after all.
And there's one more person who's not here, is Alan Pennells, who's stands in for Howard when Howard isn't available, and we thank him very much for doing some of the concerts we do. We have got a gift for him, but he's not here to receive.
No, I'm going to drink it now.
And last but not least, there's Jane Grange, who very kindly produces amazing homemade soup for the committee when they're there at a committee meeting. Thank you so much. It's really nice. Mulled wine, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, soft drinks, mince pies. So,
and leave your carol sheets on the
leave your carol sheets. Thank you for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to make things easy, all the food and wine and drinks are through there. And if you leave by the other door, by an amazing piece of magic, you finish up coming in through those dustballs. Otherwise, we could have quite a few problems around this door. There's mulled wine, mulled punch, which is non-alcoholic, not a lot on the front. Otherwise, there's spring water out of the Help yourself.